This is not a drill.
1, fight.
Weapons activated.
Chada Talks.
Chada Talks, my
Cheers,
man.
we're here.
We're here. First episode.
First episode. And Chada is such a big part of Vietnamese culture. Something
it
that
is.
I've embraced while I've been here. What does it mean to you?
First ever is my father drink it when we travel from, back then, we have to, the road from Hanoi to my hometown is Bắc Giang the road is not that good.
Okay.
So right now it's very good. You can go from Hanoi to Bắc Giang in less than an hour, but back then you have to travel maybe the whole morning. So we stop in Chada place in the middle of the road, rest, get some fresh air.
On a table like this, right?
On a table like this. And with something like this too, but not this fancy. It's taller, it's look a little bit used.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and-
this will probably look like that in a few months.
Yeah, but it basically depends on the kind of chada the kind of tea we use, right?
Yeah, of course. This, what we're using is Cha Gai Leo, which I checked earlier.
Alright,
It's a prickly pear. It's part of the cactus family.
Cactus family.
Yeah.
So no caffeine, right?
No caffeine. Or at least I don't think it's got caffeine, which is great because it's quite late right now and we don't
Yeah.
really want to be up. But the good thing about traditional chada is it does have caffeine
It is.
and it gives you just a nice buzz. But have you ever drank too much and you get a bit of a weird head rush feeling? Have you ever had that?
Never. Chada is not like coffee. So, for example, if you drink mostly when people drink chada, they drink with a little bit of actual tea.
Yeah.
And then they put water in it, they put ice in it, so it's neutral it out. So give them just a little boost, for them to go to work. That's why most people drink it in the morning.
Whereas when people drink the hot tea in the little, the little shot glasses of tea, that is strong. I've had about 5 shots of that and you get a bit of a buzz.
So you're a little bit anxious. And actually those tea, the one you drink in small cups, small China cup, is actually used for formal occasion. You invite someone to your house, we talk business, they used to drink that to seal the deal.
Yeah.
Instead of, because we don't have champagne.
It's Vietnamese champagne.
Vietnamese champagne.
That's cool.
Just imagine the guy shake it up and it'll have a knife go pull out the chada.
I've drank that kind of chada often when I get my motorbike repaired or if I get an oil change. They always have a little table with these little shot glasses. That's where I got really buzzed from, that kind of tea, because I was waiting for a while. I was just drinking shot after shot of really bitter, strong tea, but I really like it. Chada, yeah, for sure. It's a lot more of a sustainable buzz. It gives you a nice vibe.
And speaking of that, if they give you those small cups of pure tea, it's good customer service too.
Loads of motorbike places have it. The whole concept of chada is, you go to the side of the road, probably smoke some Thuốc Lào, UK. UK means the peasant's pipe. Did you know that?
No.
In English, translation.
Oh,
It's peasant's pipe.
Điếu cày. Okay, điếu is mean that the thing that you smoke, and cày mean to plow.
Yeah, so peasant is someone who plows. Yeah.
Oh.
Peasant pipe, yeah.
Peasant pipe.
Yeah, the UK is peasant pipe, and Thuốc Lào is obviously tobacco from Laos. Is that why it's called Thuốc Lào?
I think so.
Have you ever tried Thuốc Lào?
Oh yeah, I did once.
Never again.
Never again. I hope my mom doesn't see this. 12th grade,
Okay.
just finished. I don't remember is it literary or math,
Okay.
but
Like one of the hardest exams.
one of the hardest subjects. It's 12th grade is such a burden. It's such a hard time of my life. All right. So me and a couple of friends, and I was gonna go home because back then I was a good boy. No cigarettes, no alcohol, I literally don't smoke. I don't drink and don't smoke. But I used my breakfast money
Okay.
to go to internet cafe, which is a which
To the net.
to the net, yeah, to
the net. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Lưới. We call it đi lưới.
Đi lưới.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Net in like internet, right? But net in Vietnamese.
net
can
that you catch
transfer-
fish with?
Yeah, yeah, we can catch fish with. We use it. We use that term to not let our parents know because going to the internet cafe is such a taboo for students.
Yeah. What, so your parents think you're going to go out fishing? Oh, they're going to the net to catch some fish.
Anyway, so 5 guys, we went to this Chada place about 50 meters away from my school. Just have some iced tea, have some Chada, and then one guy said, "Hey, you want to try this thing?" And I'm like, "What?" And they give it to me, and they burn it. And I look at it, I'm like, "Okay, guys, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here." And this apparently, they're like, "Just do it again." And I hear it go.
That's the noise, dude. I love
And
that
like,
noise.
Oh. And for 1 second, I'm like, okay, is it working? Oh God! And I start sweating. My mouth went dry, and I just and I just lean into one of my friends like, dude, help!
Hey.
Help! Okay. Good thing is I didn't throw up.
And you didn't get nicotine poisoning.
We're not talking about that.
Okay.
Okay. They give me a cup of water, and I just like, okay. And the adrenaline rush
Yeah.
afterwards is so good.
So it was an initial feeling of, you know, unease and not feeling
I
good.
am dying. I
Okay.
can't breathe, and then, oh my God, I'm alive.
Okay, so it was more of an adrenaline because you were happy to be alive.
Yeah.
Okay. Because, yeah, when I've gone for Chada, people always ask me to do it, but I've never done it because I've seen too many videos of people doing it and passing out. I'm like, I don't really want that to happen to me. Even though it might not happen, but I'm just like, nah, I'd rather just not touch it because it's like pure tobacco, isn't it? That the
Yeah, it is.
pretty much. The whole thing of Chada is, you know, you'd go to somewhere on the side of the street with either your friends or you might meet new friends there and just like talk some nonsense, Samsi, you know, Vovan, right? Vovan.
It's vớ, but
Vovan.
vớ means like, in the South they call it, vớ means socks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like north and south. All right. Like back in the day, like in the 90s and the 80s, when we don't have like bars, we don't have like pubs. Chada place is actually a social place. People go there to read newspapers, eat breakfast, play the, what do you call it? Like,
That game that the old men play on
yeah,
the street?
it is like chess, but it's
Chinese checkers.
Yeah, Chinese checkers. Yeah, Chinese checkers. And they are super aggressive about it too. And like, when
They play for money?
they don't play for money. They play for like
Pride.
for the pride. They're like the general commanding their own army.
yeah.
When they win, when they like finish them, they go. That's
I've seen that before.
Yeah.
They go hard, like
yeah,
with-
they go hard.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why these tables are so sturdy.
sturdy, yeah. You,
Industrial made just for those guys.
these
Like, not to
tables will survive the nuclear holocaust, you know, like the nuclear apocalypse. These tables and cockroaches will be the only things that survive. Shout out Viet Nhát from Dan Hoa Thang Wai.
What?
Oh,
Okay.
Thang Wai.
Thanh Nguai is like
Outside Hanoi,
outside
right?
Hanoi,
Suburb?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's where they made.
That's where these are made.
Yeah.
Shout out, give us a sponsorship
Yeah.
deal, guys.
Because
We're
sponsorship,
backing
we're
you.
using your products right now. It's gonna be here for a while.
And then you've got these chairs. These chairs are, I don't know how many of these chairs I've broke while I've been in Vietnam. Viet Nhát, oh, is it? Yeah, same company. We're supporters. These chairs, I'd say, like when I sat on one, even here, remember I sat on it and it cracked. But it's still survived, you know?
Yeah,
Survives all 100 kilograms of me.
100 kilograms. Dude, I'm 68.
Have you ever broken one of these?
No. These chairs actually bring me back too because high school, junior high school, we use these chairs for every like Monday ceremony, sing the national anthem.
Stacked up, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like stacks up. And dude, back in high school, I'm always the guy who have to carry these.
How many could you carry in one go?
One go, I would say maybe double my height.
Wow.
And
I reckon that could be like a strength standard.
Yeah,
strength and balance. How many can you stack
oh no,
up?
I carry them like this, or maybe over my shoulders.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
So they
dude,
don't like.
if you stack them up, they're steady.
Wow.
Sometimes they're like stick together so much we have to break one just to get the other one out.
I reckon we should call Viet Nhiat and see if we can make some kind of like stool pyramid. That'd be pretty cool.
We actually made it back in high school.
Well, like see how tall you can get it. Did you stack them lying down and then carry it up?
Sometimes yes, but most of the time, okay, we store those like next to stairs, so I just go upstairs and just put them down.
Ah, I see.
Like
Okay.
height advantage,
Nice. That's cool.
science.
But yeah, Chada is just something that, since I got to Vietnam, I was always a bit intrigued. Oh, look at these like plastic tables and chairs and people are drinking something. What are they drinking? First, I thought people were just drinking beer on the street because it kind of looks a bit like this is a bit lighter, but traditionally it's darker, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more yellow.
Yeah, yellowy. And I thought it was beer. I thought people were just drinking beer on the street. I was like, yo, these people are just on it.
Bally.
Because they often drink it in like the mugs, don't they, as well?
Yeah.
Like the glass mug. So I thought they were drinking beer, but then I remember going to one of the roadside Chada places and just being like, can I have one of those? And they're like, Chada? I'm like, yeah. I've learned a new word.
Vietnamese new beer.
Yeah, exactly.
You drink it's actually tea.
I was like, this isn't beer, but this is good. You know, especially with it being so hot as well, it just cools you right down. It's
Yeah,
just a nice,
super
soothing
refreshing.
drink. Very refreshing. And I just went through a phase of like often drinking Chada. So for example, I went through a lot of phases where I just don't drink any alcohol.
Yeah.
And I'd drink Chada on a night out, basically. When I was living in Ha Long, we'd go to this backpackers bar, which was like our main bar that we'd go to. And I remember the first time I went in there, I was like, said to the bartender, do you have Chada? And he was like looking at me funny. What? Chada in a bar? Are you crazy? I'm like, yeah, I mean, surely you guys drink it. You must have some in the back or something. He was like, no, we don't have that here. I'm like, I bet you do. So then what I did instead, I was like, well, there's a Chada place outside. So can I have a cup from this bar? I'll give you 10K to use your cup. And can I go ask them to make me some Chada and bring it in and drink it? So that's what I would do. When I was going through a phase of not...
use their cup for free.
I just said, I'll give you some money, you know, to rent the cup. But then eventually just, he wasn't that bothered about me paying for it. And then I just asked the old lady outside, go oi, to make me some Chada and then take it up into the bar. Like all my friends were drinking beer and I'd just be drinking Chada. And then when I finished that, I went back down, got some more, came back up. And it's like 5K a time or something. I think that's like an expensive one as well, because usually like 3K.
Yeah, usually like it's 3K.
Yeah.
Nhân Chân is 5K.
Oh, I must have got the high level. What, Nhân Chân? What's that?
Yeah, it's red. The aftertaste is sweet. It's when you drink it, it tastes like water. It smells like herbs.
Is that oolong?
I think
Oolong is red. Yeah, well,
like
I guess some
dark
different
red,
Chadas. Yeah,
dark
or it
red.
could be. Yeah. What do you think of this one?
I think this one's great, but I'm drinking it with lemon and honey right now because I have
Yeah.
a sore throat.
Yeah, this one's all right. I've had this before, and I've also had another prickly pear drink, but this is good. And the good thing about Chada is that it's got so many health benefits, man, like liver cleansing, detox, really good for that.
And normally, my father and my grandmother and me as well, if I don't have mouthwash around, I just use some tea. Hot tea for mouthwash.
Wow. Don't
And
let,
if you
don't
like-
let Listerine hear you say that. They put them out of business.
Ooh. It's not as good as Listerine, but it's give you like this refreshness in your mouth when you speak. You can smell it too.
Yeah, you can taste like
Yeah.
the sensation of it still.
But if you use it too much, your teeth turn yellow.
True. Very true. Yeah. But I think Chada is just so much better than soda. Coca-Cola and Pepsi and
No sugar,
no sugar, exactly.
no fat, zero
fat.
zero calorie, and it's have like this just enough amount of caffeine that give you like a mental boost, and you can just hit the gym.
Enough so you just get a nice sustainable buzz without, because coffee, you get like a really high peak, but then also a crash.
Ooh, yeah.
Whereas Chada, I just feel like it's just a nice, consistent, leveled out buzz. It's really good. Yeah, I just love it. I would say it is up there with one of the best drinks ever and like the best culture around it. I just love Chada culture, which is why we came up with this concept for the podcast, Chada Talks. We've done it so many times where we've just gone for a Chada and just had a chat. And
Yeah,
we've
we talk
been
for like hours.
talked for hours and don't even realize the time's gone, and we're just like, wow.
It's been like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And the people selling it, they doesn't mind us sitting there too. They just listen to us talk, even though they most of the time they don't understand anything.
Yeah, it's just a nice little buzz. It's a little atmosphere around. There's, loads of people just enjoying their life, talking to their friend, or, people might be on their phone or doing whatever. It's just a nice, easygoing, relaxed drink that you can just enjoy. That's what Chada is all about, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Community drinks.
it is. It's very communal. Going back onto another Chada story, I remember another time when I wasn't drinking alcohol, my work had a party, and it was in a sort of traditional Vietnamese restaurant. I can't remember exactly what we were eating. There were about 30 people there, I'd say. I asked for Chada. Everyone else was drinking beers. But then they also, when they finished one jug of beer, they put vodka and Red Bull
No.
in it, like the other guys. So everyone's just getting absolutely, wasted off vodka and Red Bull. And it was kind of a similar color to my Chada.
Yeah.
And, people getting drunker and drunker as the evening went on, but I was completely sober.
What were you and drinking chada when everyone just gets
I
wasted?
enjoy it. It's fun. Like, you see how crazy people act when they're drunk. And then you're just there drinking tea. I'm still enjoying my time, but I'm drinking tea. And people like cheersing me. And I was like, yeah, let's cheers.
Cheers.
And I'm like, yeah, Chada. And then everyone started calling the vodka Red Bull jug Chada. So everyone thought I was drinking vodka Red Bull, even though I was drinking Chada. I convinced everyone to call the vodka Red Bull Chada as well. It's so funny.
Yeah, they were so drunk. I don't think they realized you were drinking ice.
Exactly. They probably don't even, no one there even remembers that story of it, because everyone was just wasted. And I was just there like, yeah, I'm drinking Chada, enjoying my life.
Let's do it.
Yeah, honestly, Chada is just such a nice drink. And there's so many variations. We've got this one today, which, isn't even technically what you'd consider to be a Chada drink, but, anything really, as long as it's tea and ice, Chada.
It is. Let's talk about our podcast.
Yeah,
For the viewers, the main philosophy, the core foundation of our podcast.
yeah, what it's going to be about, basically.
What it's going to be about.
Well, you can see it's Chada Talks.
Chada Talks.
So it's going to be drinking Chada, just talking about general things, We'll try and keep a theme to an episode, but we'll just be talking about things. It's going to be a good way for people to learn English.
Yeah.
Interesting conversations. We'll be inviting guests on soon as well, sharing stories, sharing knowledge, thinking of new ideas.
Bing, bing. And we're gonna share some tips on learning English too, because as you can see, I can speak English somewhat well, and he's a foreigner, he's a teacher. I got my own tips on like how to pronounce words in English, how to actually remember them. And as most of you listening right now, I'm speaking an American accent, which is pretty rare in Vietnam. Yeah, and this podcast will be very educational too. and we will try to keep our theme here very positive.
I mean, this episode we're talking about tea a lot.
Yeah, we talk about
In the UK, tea is such a big part of the culture as well.
yeah,
But it's not iced tea. Iced tea is not a thing. Hot tea.
all right, hot tea. I heard about Yorkshire tea,
Yeah, Yorkshire tea.
but I really don't know how British people drink their tea. Do
Well,
they
like the
mix it
culture
with-
behind tea.
Yeah,
So, back at home in the UK, I probably drink about 4 cups a day.
4.
4, yeah. So I'll have a cup at breakfast. I'll have a cup around midday, lunchtime. Cup around 5 o'clock, and a cup around 8 or 9. Our tea is black tea with boiling water and milk. People put sugar in it as well, like a couple of spoons. I used to drink it with sugar, but now I drink it without sugar, and I just prefer it so much more. Like you can actually taste the flavor of the tea, and you get like a little bit of a sweetness from the tea, so your palate is not disturbed by just the taste of sugar.
yeah, the sugar rush.
I used to put 2 spoons of sugar, so 10 grams of sugar in a cup, but I know people who use like 20 grams of sugar in 1 cup.
Yo, that's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Wait, you used to did that research on that Vietnamese red energy drinks.
Sting.
Yeah, Sting. Oh my god, I never drink that.
Have you ever tried it?
I tried it. I don't like it.
Yeah, that stuff is bad.
How many grams of tea?
Sugar is
yeah,
not-
I'm sorry. How many grams of sugar in one Sting? If there's tea in Sting, it would be like such a revolutionary drink. It's so
There
different.
is, if I'm not mistaken, it's between 50 and 60 grams, I think.
60.
About 50, I want to say between 50 and 60, I can't remember the exact number. But bearing in mind, this is a 250 ml bottle.
Yeah.
So about more than 1/5 of that drink is sugar. Pure sugar.
Oh.
And it's got caffeine in. And the main people who drink that are kids,
Yeah.
which is crazy to me. Because in the UK, even if you want to buy Red Bull, you have to be 16.
No way.
Yeah.
You have to be 16 to drink Red Bull? Dude, I drink Red Bull since I was 5. First time I drink Red Bull was when I was 5.
Did your parents give it to you?
I think one of my cousin gave it to me. I just remember drinking it and just go wild.
The advert for Red Bull in the UK is Red Bull gives you wings. Yeah, they have some animation and then like people are flying like after they drink Red Bull. But yeah, Red Bulls. Red Bull comes from Thailand. The original recipe for Red Bull comes from Thailand, and then a guy from Austria, can't remember his name, but he took the recipe and carbonated it and made it into $1 billion company.
Wow.
And then he, became even bigger. Now they own, all these extreme sports, Formula One team, football teams, all from him taking that formula from Thailand, because Red Bull actually comes from Thailand, like the whole formula. So you could even say that, well, most energy drinks come from Thailand, and they're huge now. Thailand actually has, I lived there for a while.
Their money?
I think so. I think they did some kind of partnership, or he bought the rights to distribute it in Europe and the US and just became a billionaire from it. But when I lived in Thailand, I used to live there 2016 to 2017 for a year. Energy drinks are huge over there. They have this one called M150, and that stuff that puts hairs on your chest, And some of the key people who use these energy drinks are the bus drivers.
Oh yeah, so they have to constantly focus, constantly.
Constantly focused, but they're also doing nighttime runs from Bangkok to Chiang Mai, which is 8 hours. And they're just jacked up on energy drinks, dude. And they drive like crazy. You think Vietnamese bus drivers drive crazy? Thailand ones are way crazier. Because they're just high on energy drinks.
get out of my way. Beep, 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 beep. Get on the bus, get on the bus, get on the bus. Let's go. Let's go. Like,
Yeah, dude, they're next level.
yeah, the reason I mentioned Sting is you said some people drink it with 20 grams of sugar, right?
Drink tea with 20 grams
Yeah,
of sugar, yeah.
tea with 20 grams of sugar, but they're like this small. They put like that much sugar and it's not to be healthy, right?
Well, I mean, the tea is probably about similar size to this. It's
Yeah,
probably
but-
about 300, I'd say it's around 300 mil of tea.
300 ml.
So about the similar sort of size to what Sting is, if you put it in a cup. But yeah, British tea culture is very much, it's a social thing as well. Like you'll drink tea with a friend, you know, your mate might say, oh, well, I need to talk to someone. Oh, I'll put the kettle on. That's basically the term, the phrase for let's make a cup of tea. I'll stick the kettle on. So obviously we boil the water in the kettle and then you make the tea and then you'll just, you know, have a cup of tea. And the reason obviously why we drink it hot is because the UK is a much cooler
it's
climate. So we don't really drink tea outside unless you're working outside, and then you'd have a nice hot
Nice hot
thermos flask or
flask.
mug that warms you up. And then obviously we have afternoon tea, which is a popular thing. You know, around about 4 p.m. You might have like tea and some cakes or sandwiches. It's like a nice little snack meal type thing.
And what I'm seeing here is same thing with tea, but if it relate to Vietnamese culture, it's more casual. It's more like a community thing.
Yeah,
But for British people, it's more formal. It's time regulated. It's
can be, but you could also just have a cup of tea anytime you want.
yeah, but it's like you said, afternoon tea. You have the
Yeah.
sandwiches, cake, and to be honest, if anyone listening to our podcast, okay, if they look in their head, okay, tea, British, they're gonna think about the royal family.
Yeah. Well, that's where afternoon tea comes from. It's more of the whole concept of afternoon tea is quite a, you know, upper class type thing to do. Because most people don't have afternoon tea in their home, like with cakes and sandwiches and things, in the same way. Because afternoon tea, you'll have a nice decorative set of china, you know, fine china and nice plates, and things will be cut nicely and everything. But for me at home, when we have tea with the family and stuff, we'll just have just tea and biscuits, you know, like cookies, you might want to call them.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what just came up in my head?
What's that?
When you say you have afternoon tea, very fancy, very formal. The image of you sitting down drinking tea with sandwiches remind me of that scene from Toy Story, when that girl, that girl in living with the guy named Sid, they took Buzz Lightyear, a very buff-looking astronaut dude, put in a pink dress and let it have afternoon tea with the other dolls.
That's what it's like. Yeah. A lot of people go on these afternoon tea. We have this thing called Groupon.
Groupon.
It's like a coupon thing.
Okay.
And you can get a good price voucher for afternoon tea. That's pretty much the only times I've had real afternoon tea is when I've got a Groupon voucher and gone to some place that does afternoon tea in a castle or something, or a nice stately home or something. I think it's, yeah, kind of like, just like a nice place. You know, they've got like the dining room and then there'll be people on their own like separate tables. Yeah, it's really nice. You have like finger sandwiches, so sandwiches cut up into like thin slices. And then you'll have like loads of cakes and pastries. It's really nice.
First time I actually hear of this. You can go to a castle?
Yeah, there's a few castles you can just go to.
How much is it?
I mean, if you want to do the afternoon tea, I think with Groupon, it's usually like £20, £30 or something.
20, 30 pounds. How much does that transfer to
VND?
600K?
Something like that, yeah.
600K.
But I mean, if you go to a nicer place, it's going to be more.
Castle.
But yeah,
Dude, wow. 600K sounds legit. If you're like going to a castle, you got everything served out for you.
yeah, but it's not like a big meal. It's just sort of you know, usually you get unlimited tea, and then it's not like a big meal. It's more of a nice little pick-me-up, like snack.
Yeah.
You'll probably get, you know, enough like finger slice of bread for about a sandwich and a half. I'm never full after having afternoon tea. Usually full of tea.
Dude, you're like twice my size. Your hand's bigger than my legs. Of course, you could, one sandwich maybe is enough for me. It's not going to be enough for you.
Yeah, but it is nice.
But I think you're paying for the experience.
Exactly,
More than
that's
like
it.
The actual
Because
food.
like, the actual food is probably worth like £5
Yeah, £5.
or £10 max.
£10?
The value of it, you know, it's just bread with some
Sauce.
fillings like ham and cheese or egg and cress or
Cress.
salmon or chicken sandwich or something. It's not particularly amazing. But what about in Vietnam? What would you typically eat at a Chai Da place? Oh, sunflower seeds, right?
Sunflower seed and
Nem chua?
no.
That's with beer, right?
Yeah, nem chua is with beer. I'm trying to think of the word for it. Is peanut candy.
Oh, kẹo lạc or something?
Yeah. Kẹo lạc. Yeah.
It's like a peanut brittle, I think we
Yeah,
call
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's like quite hard, right?
It's not hard. We eat it when it's cold. So when it enters your body, your body temperature melt the sugar. So it's
Gets stuck in your teeth though, right?
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It does like all the time.
And the Chai Da kind of washes it down.
Oh no, we don't eat it with chai dao. We eat it with
hot tea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because most of us eat that with hot tea when it's cold.
I see. Okay. I've had it before, yeah. And the hot tea melts the stuff out of your teeth.
And the bitterness of the tea and the
The
sweetness of the
sweetness,
sugar just
yeah.
mix
It is good.
well with each other.
And because like the nuts are a little bit, you know, there's like a savory saltiness to it as well.
Saltiness to it as well.
That's good. But what about Chai Da? What would people eat something?
Sunflower seed, pumpkin seeds,
Cigarettes.
cigarette. Come on, cigarette. We don't eat cigarette. We smoke cigarettes.
Speaking of cigarettes, you know how much cigarettes cost in the UK?
I think the same as in Vietnam. Like a pack of cigarettes, like between 30 to 40K. So divided that down, I think 1 or 2 pounds. 5 pounds. 10 pounds. How much?
At least 15.
No way.
And if you want something like Marlboro, it's probably going to be about £20.
20 pounds. 600K.
So the price of it went
Yo.
up like massively. So I remember when I was about 15, a 20 pack of cigarettes would be about £7.
Still expensive.
Yeah, but they've just shot up. Obviously, inflation has made it go up, but also the tax on cigarettes is crazy high.
Why?
I think one of the reasons why it's so high is because we have free healthcare in the UK, and a lot of the people who use our free healthcare system use it because of the smoking, you know, like lung cancer, throat cancer, you know, respiratory issues, and heart disease and things that are all linked to smoking. So they've put the tax of cigarettes way up.
Yeah.
So it's like smokers are inadvertently paying for their own healthcare by the tax that they're paying on their cigarettes, which makes a lot of sense, especially in a free healthcare system, because it should be like that, I think. So cigarettes have, you know, a lot of people have been priced out of even smoking, which I think is a good thing, really. It shouldn't be so readily available and cheap to buy like it is here. Like
Super cheap.
it's so cheap because you can even buy them yellow Tang Long or something. They're like 15K.
How much is that?
They taste like trash. I mean, all cigarettes, to be honest, taste like trash. Like, let's be honest.
Better than others.
Some are better than others, but I remember the first time I ever smoked a cigarette, my mum gave me the cigarette. No joke. So
Does your mom go like, here, son?
basically, no one in my family smokes either. So we had a courtesy car, like our car was getting repaired. So the garage gave us a car to use while our car was being repaired. and there was a pack of cigarettes in the car. So I remember I could smell cigarettes, and I remember coming downstairs, and I was about 10 or 11 years old. Came downstairs, and my mum's in the kitchen smoking a cigarette. I'm like,
Who were you?
10 or 11?
No way.
Yeah. And I goes, Mum, what are you doing? You don't smoke? And she was like, yeah, I found them in the car. And I was like, okay. And she was like, you want some? I was like, sure, why not? So then I took a drag, and I remember coughing, and then I took another drag, and I threw up.
Oh.
I was coughing, I was like, threw up because it was so horrible. Because I remember growing up, people would smoke in the car, smoking was around. People would smoke in the house. It was just a normal thing to just smoke. Like I had uncles who would come over and smoke, you know, be in a car and 3 guys are smoking, and I'd be in the back seat, 8 years old, just inhaling all this secondhand smoke.
They smoke one cigarette, you smoke like each half.
Yeah, basically. I remember once on a long journey in the car, and I just threw up because it was just like, number one, a long journey, and I used to get car sick when I traveled in the back seat. And number two, like all this fucking cigarette fumes. So when I was a kid, I didn't like it, because my mum was like, will you ever smoke? And I was like, no, I'll never smoke. And then fast forward 5 more years, and when I was like 16 or something, you know, most kids at school will try it. So I remember walking to school with a couple of my mates, and one of my mates was smoking at that time. So we'd take the long way, cut through the cemetery, and we'd smoke in a little hidden bit of the cemetery. We just sort of stand in a circle and smoke.
Yo, that sounds gangster, bro.
It's not gangster at all.
Dude, come on. Smoking in a cemetery. The sky is gray, graves around you, it's cold, wind is blowing, you just...
Yeah,
It's gangster.
it's not gangster. It's quite emo-ish.
Yeah, emo-ish.
Yeah, because we were like emo back then. We had the
Yo,
long hair and shit.
You have an emo face?
Not emo, like I didn't go all out emo, but you know, like the longer hair and stuff. It was more like rocker, I'd say. I like rock music more than emo, you know.
Glam rock?
No, just rock and roll.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Nowadays people call it a Justin Bieber haircut, but for us it was just Oasis hair.
Oasis.
Oasis, or the Beatles style, you know, like mod, like a mod look, kind of like long around, a bit shorter here.
Short over here.
But mine was just all long. But anyway, smoking then when I was
You
like
still have the
15,
photos?
16, somewhere on Facebook.
Dude,
You know?
I want it.
Nah, people have got to ask for that. If we get
Come on.
if we get
If you
1,000
mention
likes,
it,
then no, you can't just give the people what they want. They gotta work for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was when I first started smoking, and then after that, it was expensive, man. We sell them in 10 packs in the UK. A 10 pack of cigarettes.
That's it?
You can get 10 or 20 in a box.
Okay, 20 is like standard.
Yeah, you can't get 10 packs here, but in the UK you can get 10 packs. So a 10 pack in the UK was like £3. So what's that? 70, 80k? When I was growing up anyway. Now they don't do 20 packs. And another thing now, if you go to a store, there's no cigarettes on display.
How do you sell the cigarette?
They're behind the cabinets and you can't even see them.
Oh.
And another thing, there's no branding on the boxes.
Oh.
So you know how Marlboro, for example, is like red and white, and they used to put their branding on like the formula. Looks very cool. I used to want to smoke Marlboro because of how cool the brand looked, the packet, because it reminded me of the Formula One car.
Yeah, and you're a car dude too.
Yeah, I love cars.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Marlboro Red are like the strongest. They're very strong cigarettes. But now they cannot put their branding. It's just a white box with boring fonts saying the name of the brand.
Times News Roman.
No, that's too fancy, bro.
Times News Roman is fancy.
Too fancy for this box. It's like Arial.
Ariel?
Arial,
Oh
bro.
my God.
It's very vanilla.
All right.
You know, that's one of those things, because I think cigarettes were an impulse buy for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, you'll see it if you're like a little bit, had like a a little bit of an addiction. Like there was always that like feeling of that first cigarette would give you like that head rush. So you're like, oh, I'll just get it back. It's fine. Why not?
Yeah, and since the package looked bad, it's discouraged.
Well, you kind of see it now.
Yeah, it's
You have to go to the counter and ask for the cigarette that you want, and then they have to like unlock the cabinet, take it out and give it to you, and then you have to pay £18, like more than 500k for a box.
more than 500.
More than 500k.
Wow.
So then you start thinking like, is it even worth smoking?
Oh.
It's not good for my health. It costs a bomb, you know.
Ah, that's very smart. This is very smart and sort of way to like discourage people.
Another thing that discouraged people is we banned smoking indoors in 2007. So people were used to be able to smoke in pubs and bars and clubs and everything like that. That became banned in 2007, so you couldn't smoke indoors unless it's like your own home. But then once the government banned that, then a lot of people were like, yeah, we don't really want people to smoke in our home now. It kind of empowered the non-smokers. Because back in the day, like I have uncles who smoked and they just spark up. Like there'd be kids around in the house and stuff, and they're just like, it was just a normal thing of just, you know, get the ashtray, spark up. I just remember everyone's house used to smell of cigarettes.
Yeah.
It's a lingering smell. But I smoked for a bit, but I sort of stopped when I was about 22, 23.
Oh, so about my age. I'm 22 now.
Yeah. I still had the occasional cigarette, you know,
Yeah,
on
but
a
you're
night
not
out with some alcohol, but
craving.
I never crave it.
Yeah.
I never crave the feeling. I think the only time I sometimes crave it is if I'm drinking alcohol. And then people around you are smoking, so you like, you know, you kind of want to, you remember that feeling again. And you're just like, I'll just have a cigarette or a box or...
Yeah, it feels so cool. Whiskey on my hand and a cigarette on another. I feel like Thomas Shelby.
I haven't seen Peaky Blinders yet.
Dude, really? What's
But
so good?
Peaky Blinders is set in Birmingham, which is about 40 miles from my hometown.
Wow.
40 miles, about 70 kilometers. But I've never seen it, but is it something like this you sound like?
I was
Is that
going
it?
to tell you to do the Birmingham accent. Do it, do it,
That's
do
the
it, do it.
Birmingham accent, it's a bit like this. I'm Tommy Shelby. Is that how you sound?
I think
A little
so.
bit. I don't know, I've never seen the show.
You sound. Can you say it again?
What do you want me to say?
You sound like
Birmingham.
John Shelby. Okay, there's
John
John
Shelby.
Shelby, Arthur, and Thomas.
Thomas.
You sound like
Thomas a bit rougher, like Thomas Shelby, mate.
Shelby, mate.
Thomas Shelby. Yeah. Do you know that accent, before Peaky Blinders came out, was considered to be like a trash accent in the UK? that show has done wonders for that accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
And now everyone want to talk like
Everyone
Thomas
wants to talk like that. Like in the UK, we would consider the Birmingham accent, like people from outside of Birmingham would think, oh, they sound like less intelligent with their accents. You know, there's a bit like, there is some accent snobbery in the UK. Like cook and book.
Cooking.
Yeah. Some people say cook and book. Like my hometown, most people say cook and book. Like cook instead of cook some food. They say, I'm going to cook some food.
What accent is that?
That's Stoke accent.
Stoke accent. Funny how only 40 miles. So 60 kilometers?
60 to 70
Yeah,
kilometers.
somewhere like that. The accent.
Oh, dude, yeah. Even like 5 or 10 miles, like 15 kilometers, the accent's different.
Really?
Yeah. It's really strange, like that the UK is such a small place, but the accents are so diverse and varied.
Same here in Vietnam.
Yeah.
You got the Hanoian accent, you got the Haiphong accent, you got the Nghệ An accent. Oh my God, the Nghệ An accent.
They don't use tones, do they, or something?
Nghệ An, I remember in one of a literature class, my teacher gave me this example, is he said, "Ga ni ga chiu," and he's what language do you think that is? And like Japanese. Oh, that's the Ngay'an accent. Someone just asked which train station is this. I'm like, wow. Got the way accent. The way accent is okay. I think the accent reflect the people. Okay, the
Where
word-
people are very chill, aren't they?
way people are very chill, very poetic.
Okay.
Smooth.
So yesterday I went for coffee with some of my students, and they were telling me about the Haiphong accent because they mix the L and the N, right?
Yeah,
So Hainam would be Hailam,
yeah.
and then if the word begins with N, they say, because even they do that in English sometimes. Like when they say nine, they say line,
Line.
or like knife, life.
Yeah, but there's no.
What's your name? What's your name?
Oh, it was your name.
What's your name?
There's no fixed way to say a Haiphong accent because some different people mix N with L differently.
Okay. Yeah, because I've heard it here before as well.
Yeah, in Hanoi there are some, but those most of
Yeah.
But I never mix my L with N. Rùa nếp là rùa nếp làng, rùa lên lớp lớp lòng nàng lân lâm. Oh my god, I just have to say that.
What?
Hundreds of
Was that
times.
like a pronunciation thing?
Yeah, the pronunciation thing is for not. If you can say that right, you don't mix L with N.
Say it again. Luanep something? What?
Lúa nếp là lúa nếp làng, lúa lên lớp lớp lòng nàng lân lân.
Luanep lang, lua no. I don't know.
It's like in English you say
Tongue twister.
tongue twister. I don't remember one. I think it's called like a fish, a shellfish. By the sea.
She sells by the seashore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sells
So you don't
by
mix
the
your
seashore.
shirt and sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. She sells seashells by the seashore. I have to think about it a little bit when I say it.
Yeah.
Otherwise it'd be like she sells on the seashores. You know? Yeah. Oh, we should do an episode about tongue twisters. That would be cool.
Yeah, it is.
But back to what we were talking about, smoking. Do you want to know how I stopped smoking the first time?
Huh.
So, about 23, I was working in a healthcare recruitment place. And I remember when I first started that job, I was like, I'm not going to smoke in this job. I just don't want to smoke while I'm working here. Because before that, when I was at uni and stuff, I used to smoke like 5 a day or something. So when I was at this job, I was like, consciously, I'm not going to smoke. So the first day, I ate about 5 chocolate bars, like Kit Kat chunky size, because I needed something to do instead of smoking.
Wow.
So then the next day I was like, this is not sustainable. I'm just gonna get fat if I just eat 5 chocolate bars a day, you know? So the next day I bought, so in the supermarkets we have cut up carrots.
Yeah.
So it's cut into this like sticks basically, like the size of your finger.
Do you like the carrots?
So I bought a pack of those. They're like £1, like 30k for 1 kilogram or 500 grams of like these cut up carrots. So then I would just pick the carrot up and hold it like a cigarette and just like nibble it while I'm at my desk, you know?
Did you like the carrots as well?
I used to pretend to sometimes. So that's what I did to help myself, because I think more than anything it's the habit of putting something and doing something with your hands. And I was remember looking around that place, a lot of the people who worked there, it was a desk job, you know, like an office desk job. People were quite overweight, I'd say, because they weren't moving around a lot. They were eating donuts and cookies and crisps, cakes at their desk.
Cake?
Yeah, just like while they're working, it's just like
Like a birthday cake?
no, like a cupcake or something, biscuits and stuff like that at their desk. So they're just like piling in calories while they're working and not moving. And I was like, I can't be like that. Like I've got to do something a bit different, you know?
Yeah, it's the boredom that makes us.
It is the boredom. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like not being consciously aware that you're doing something that's like destructive.
That's one way to go, man. That sounds scary.
What?
Like unknowingly destroy your body slowly.
yeah, that's what a lot of people, you know, obese people who just eat and don't really think about the consequences, that's what they do, you know. I remember back probably about 10 years ago, before it was rude to take the mick out of fat people, you know, like when it was still a normal thing to do.
What?
You know, like now you can't really, well, you can. I mean, in Vietnam, no one cares. Vietnam, if someone's
in
fat,
Vietnam-
they'll tell you you're fat, right? Oh, you're looking a bit male.
For the older generation, maybe 30s up, 30s, 40s up, but my generation, we are a little bit woke about it. So,
So if there's a fat kid in your class, you wouldn't be like, oh, you're fat.
okay, technically,
You were the fat kid.
no. Technically, kids in my class do it, not because they have a thing against people who is overweight, but they just find it funny.
Or want to
they
encourage
don't
him to
know.
lose weight, maybe.
Not encourage them. You can't encourage someone to lose weight if you make fun of them.
That happened to me, dude. Like after my second year of university, I came home, and like bearing in mind, we have this thing called the Freshers 15 or the Freshers 5 for kilograms.
Uh-huh.
Like you gain 5 kilograms when in your first year of university because you're
Yeah.
just drinking a lot, eating bad food. So my first 2 years, I was, you know, going out a lot, drinking a lot, eating a lot of fast food, takeaways. And I remember coming home after my second year, and everyone in my family was like, what the hell has happened to you? You've gone so fat. Like, 'cause
That
I
hurts.
was, like, my face was chubbier. I weighed a lot less than I do now, but like now I'm, you know, gymming a bit. There's a bit more muscle too. But then it was like, you know, I was like a bit chubby. I wasn't exercising because, you know, when I was a kid, I was playing football a lot with my friends, but at university, nobody wants to play football. So then I was like, okay, I've got to do something about this. So my family taking the mick out of me for being fat encouraged me to do something about it. So yeah, I think it does work. I think some, you know, light bullying, as long as it's not super, you know, a lot of bullying.
Yeah.
If
If you do it right, you can encourage people to do better things. And if you're like, your intention is just, okay, I'm just gonna make fun of this guy, just gonna belittle him. And just, maybe he's lose something like 5 kilograms just by tomorrow morning. It's not gonna fucking work.
I started going to the gym because of that. That's what made me go to the gym.
Yeah, same for me, but I say there are better ways.
There are better ways, like a more positive
More
encouragement. But for me, a negative encouragement, it worked.
Like the old people say, sometimes you just need a slap in the back of your head.
Yeah, because that summer, I remember I started eating fruit, like consciously eating fruit, like 3 or 4 portions a day. I was eating like bananas, apples, grapes, everything. My family buys a lot of fruit. You know, when I was back at home, there'd always be fruit at home. So I was eating a lot more fruit, and then I'd started doing like just basic things like push-ups. We had these, I think they were like 2.5 kg dumbbells. And then I joined the gym in my 3rd year of uni.
3rd year?
Yeah, my 3rd year. We only go uni for 3 years in the UK.
Whoa. Dude, I'm stuck in uni right now. I'm in like my 5th year.
5th?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Maybe I...
Did you like fail a year or something?
No. Like, it's complicated.
All right.
All right.
Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. First
right.
episode of Chada
First episode done.
Talks.
Chada Talks. Follow, subscribe,
Like,
all that
follow,
stuff.
subscribe. I hope you guys learned something new today.
But yeah, comment. We'd love to hear from you guys as well. Peace.
Peace.